Hey, good morning, folks. How you doing? Hey, I wanted to take a little bit of time and go over looking at slabs. Now, I know that there are some people out there that have seen uh, authentic and fake coins before. They've seen authentic and fake slabs before. But what I want to talk to you about is making sure that people understand that just because it's in a slab doesn't necessarily mean that it's real. I've got a few slabs here, and what I want to do is I want to kind of just go over a couple of the items that I have here. You'll see I've got some old Morgan holders and I've got some newer ones. Some of these are more valuable than, hey, what's going on, David? How you doing, bud? Yeah, just wanting to go over a couple of these things, looking at some of them. Got a couple of coins in. Um, was doing some research on the slabs just to make sure that the slabs were good. And as I started going through, fortunately, the ones that I have here are all fine. I do have a couple. I think they're in my counterfeit pile. I just wanted to kind of walk through a couple of them, but I want to walk through somebody how to identify whether a slab is good or whether a slab is bad. Um, Jack Young was on Paula's the other day, LiveCoinQA, and one thing that I really started to watch was the slabs are getting better. Um, One thing that he showed in the identification of the fake slabs was really looking at the barcode set. So, like in this one, really looking at this initial barcode to try to identify whether or not the barcode style is correct. Um, the barcode style that a lot of these things use um, has this very kind of mushy, flat effect to it, like everything smears and runs together. And so I wanted to take a few minutes and kind of go over a couple of these, pull up a couple of the certifications, and walk you through kind of what I have, show you what it should look like, and then show you a couple of examples of what would happen with a coin that has been flagged or removed. So I'm going to go through a couple of those items and show you what that might look like. So I'm going to split this screen up a little bit and you'll see this is one that I'm going to hit here in just a second. But what you're going to do is I want to throw this in here. First thing you're going to do is you're going to go to the pcgs.com and you're going to go to your cert verification. I've already got one up here, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to choose one of these. So I'm going to choose this slab right here. And this slab, as you can see, it's 1904. Oh, it's in an older holder. But there's the coin run, and then there's the cert number. So it's the last 8 numbers after the slash. That's what you're going to enter in. So I'm going to go ahead and enter this number in. This number is 7515186. All right. So here's one of the issues with this. This is one of the coins that I want to see. And I'm going to kind of bring this up a little bit so you can see this. Now, when I look at this particular item, you can see that the coin is here, okay? And it looks okay. It's got the PCGS logo down there. Um, there's no cracks in the side. There's nothing on the edge. It's got the right reverse. The problem is that when I pull this certification up and I come under here, it's a $90 coin, but it doesn't have an image available. Now, not having an image available doesn't necessarily mean that the coin is not, or the slab is not authentic. But the problem that I have is that without it having some sort of image, how do I validate and verify the coin? Now, I've seen on a lot of occasions when this happens that the image has been removed because they have versions of this that are compromised. So how do you tell? What's the purpose? Um, for removing the image? Did they just not pay for the image when they did this? It's a good possibility. Or is it the fact that they just never, or well, they never had the images done, or is it the fact that they've had a copy of this and somebody's reported one of these as being fake, and so they returned it? So again, one thing that's really important is to understand and know the coins. Now I've got my other camera here, and I'm going to pull this up. And I want to show you a couple items on this coin and have you look at it a little bit. And we'll kind of go through what's actually on the coin and how to determine whether or not you have a really good example. So let me go ahead and come down here and pull up the extra camera. All right. Let's pull up that extra camera and let's minimize the screen share. All right, so one of the things, I'm going to actually raise this up just a little bit because we need a little bit more room to see. So a couple of the things that we're looking for here as we go through these items is we want to make sure that we're looking, oops, this is reversed. Hold on, I do not want this reversed. Yeah, let's not mirror the camera. That doesn't help anything. I want to make sure that the numbers are correct, right? So I want to make sure that you've got a good date. So I want to look at the date and make sure that the date, actually, let me zoom in just a little bit more. It'll be easier for you to see. I apologize. It's still got the plastic on the slab, so you're going to get a little bit of glare. I'll try to keep it out as much as I can. But you'll see that the lettering itself, the numbering on this one is it's good. Like there's not really any issues here. You look at the quality of the strike. The strike is good. Unfortunately, again, I don't have any markers to go by for this particular one. So what I would need to do is I would need to pull up another. I really hate this. I hate viewing these through slabs. I would need to pull up another coin. So I'd have to go back here to the PCGS and pull up another coin that was going to be the 1904, right? So I would want to make sure that I looked at an actual good quality photos. And this is why I go through PCGS or NGC. And I'm just going to look at the 1904. How you doing, Sean? Good to see you. Hey, Esma. So I'm going to go ahead and pull up the 1904. Just going to pull up a regular 1904 strike. This is a New Orleans, so I'm going to make sure that I choose the New Orleans so that I can see the mint mark. And I'll pull that up here in just a second. All right, let's change this. And let's bring that up. Let's hide that. Okay, so the first thing that I want to do is I'm going to look at the images. So I want to look at some good quality images and make sure that my 1904. So I'm going to look at that positioning of the 9. Now again, this one has a die crack. Just because it has a die crack through it doesn't mean that mine's going to have the same die crack. And in fact, if I pull this up, let's pull this up real fast. Let's hide this camera. Sorry about that. I'm an idiot. I closed the camera with my microphone. I apologize for that. Thanks for letting me know, Sean. The other issue is that if I'm going to be taking a slab like this, I'm going to need to make sure I have a trusted source. So I want to make sure that as I go through here and I look at these items, if I have questions on it and I can't validate and verify it online, if I can't get with people like Jack Riley or Jack Young or people like LiveCoinQA, Paula Bloom is a person that I go to all the time. Now I'm dropping these names for a reason. If you're looking at doing any kind of authentication of any kind of coin, it's good to have these people aware. Yeah, you know what? It's early. But the reason that I was doing this is I just got in 2 coins and I really wanted to make sure that these coins were authentic. One is an NGC and the other one is a PCGS. Now, I'm going to show you the PCGS coin first, and that one is this one right here. Now, I want you just to look at this for just a second, and I want you to tell me what you see. Let me close the other camera. Hold on. There we go. So I'm going to pull that there. So you see a really nice Morgan, but there are 2 things on this particular slab that tell you that you really want to make sure that this is authentic. And those are the 2 CCs there next to the 1883. So I picked this up and I got it for actually a fairly good deal. Everything looked correct when I was looking at the images online. They matched the known die markers, pulled up the images. Everything seemed to match, seemed like a good idea. I did the validation, pulled up the cert, and I got the coin. And I looked at the coloration. The coloration on the slab looked right. But I wanted to validate and I wanted to verify. So again, it's really important when you do this. Yeah, and we'll be going through NGC here in just a minute because I like the NGC holders better than I do PCGS, but the NGC holders seem to be counterfeited more than the PCGS. And there's something to look at when you're doing the NGC style holders. There's a really important tell when you're looking at this style. Obviously, you're going to want to look at the labels and the holographs and the other security features, but there's something else to really look at. And we'll get to that in just a second. But when I look at this coin, I was like, man, I really want to make sure that this is authentic, right? And again, due diligence, I already purchased the coin. But I had already talked with the buyer, already talked with the seller, and said, I'm going to validate this. I'm going to verify. I'm going to look it up. I'm going to take it to my coin shop. I want to make sure that this is authentic because the price that I paid for it was fairly expensive. Not exactly what it's worth. I got a really good deal on it. And that's, again, sometimes you can find good deals and sometimes you won't. So what I did is, and I'm going to pull this up full screen, is I reached in and I pulled up this particular coin. Now, I pulled up the certification number. That is my certification number. When I look at the particular item, there's some things that I want to look at here. So I'm going to pull up the TrueView. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to look at the obverse. And I'm going to see this die crack. Now, this die crack actually exists. Okay, so I'm going to show you the coin here in just a second. And I'll show you that all of the features that I'm going to point out to you are here. And this is really important when you're looking at authenticating a coin. It has to be exact, okay? It can't be close. If you're looking at something and you look at this die crack that's running up here and it's in the middle of the BUS, that is not the same coin. So when you're looking at a certification, it's very important that you're looking at the exact same coin. That means that all the die markers should be in the same spot. That means that your mint mark should be in the same location. It means that you should have everything exactly the same, okay? Not close. Again, that's very important for people to understand. And they're like, well, it's close enough. No. Close enough is usually a warning sign, okay? Especially when you're looking for varieties. Whenever you look at varieties or VAMs, and if you don't know what a VAM is put it in chat and let me know, and then I can tell you what a VAM is. But if you're looking for VAMs or you're looking for items like this, then you definitely want to make sure that you're doing the due diligence. Now I'm going to go back over here and I'm going to pull this camera back up. I'm going to share this full screen and make sure that there we go. All right, so let's make this full screen and let's kind of walk through a couple of these items. So the first thing that I'm going to do is, actually I'm going to zoom out a little bit because this one we don't have to be close to see it. And this is a Morgan, so it's not a problem to be around. All right, so when we look at that, you're going to look at that die crack. And again, if we look at the die crack on this one, it's really important to make sure that we're looking at exactly the same die crack, okay? Because we're trying to validate that this is in fact the exact same coin. We don't want to challenge ourselves to find something close. We want to find the exact same one. So if I look at this particular coin, it's not going to let me do it. You'll see that that die crack runs right across that top of the L. It runs to the edge of the U, skips the center of the U, and then jumps over to the R. So if I jump back over here to this particular coin, and I pull that back, it's going to do exactly what it says. It's going to jump across and jump all the way across to the R. So this aligns exactly. So the second place I'm going to want to look at is I'm going to want to look down over here on the bottom. Okay, and I want to make sure I'm looking at the stars and make sure that the alignment on the stars is the same. So when I come over to the alignment here on the stars, I'm going to look at this. It's going to be at the bottom of the 3. It's going to jump all the way across here and back up. So looking at the coin, I want to look at my coin, make sure that the information is there. Again, it's going to go from the bottom of the 3. It's going to come out, hit this one, jump across. So the die cracks are the same. Now, the next thing I want to do, obviously, is look at the back. At this point, do I have an authentic coin? No, you still want to make sure that the markers on the reverse are there. So I'm going to flip this over, and there's going to be something very, very, very clear. Should stand out like an extremely sore thumb. And that is this major clash that's on the coin. This major clash jumps out like a sore thumb. It's very clear. It's very distinct. There are 2 markers on here that I'm going to be looking at, but this thing is like very, very distinct. And when I look at the other item here, let's make that big. You can see this right here. And I wish I could make this a little bit bigger. Unfortunately, I can actually, let me do this. Let me save this image and I'll open it up and so you can see it. I'll zoom in a little bit. I didn't open the window, so hold on. All right, let's do this because we're going to get a much better image looking at this one. All right, here we go. So when we look at this particular image, I'm going to kind of shrink this down a little bit. We're going to zoom in. And you're going to see that this die clash is here. This die clash is unmistakable, right? It's nice, it's clean, it's solid. And then if I come over here, I'm going to see that there's another clash area up here in the wing. And if I come back over and I look at my coin, I'm going to see that die clash very, very clearly. And then if I pull it across, I have the exact marker. So I am 100% absolutely sure that this is the coin that's within the image. And I can rest assured now that I purchased a good coin. Why is this important to do? Well, because counterfeits are rampant. And unfortunately, in some of the presentations that you'll see, the people that are doing this are learning. They're learning what not to do. They're learning what people look for. Again, if you go look at that one from Jack Young, he talked about the Morgan. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, I can pull up an article and show you. But it's really important that you double check and you're verifying these things, because if you're buying stuff, and I'll give you a warning about buying on places like eBay and whatnot, especially whatnot, because whatnot goes so fast that it is way too easy for people to find something that they think is good, but people can mess with the light. Just a shift of the light can actually change the appearance of a coin. It can make it look like something's doubled when it's not. It can make it look like something's tripled when it's not. Or it can make damage in the coin disappear by lighting it a very certain way. So just because I have this here and the coin looks amazing doesn't mean that it's going to be that when you get it. It's also important to look at the details. In this particular case, I got a 1946 MS66. It's a really nice coin. That's great. But the one that I want to show you is this one right here. This one is a 5 full step MS66 1950D. Now, this is a key date in the Jefferson nickel series. The only thing that could make this a little bit better is if it was a higher than MS66 and it was 6 full steps. I do have a 6-step variety, but I just got this one. I got a really good deal on it. And again, I want to look and validate and verify that this is the coin that I purchased. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here and I'm going to pull up, instead of going to PCGS, I'm going to come over here to NGC. So let's go ahead and pull up this one. Let's share the screen. All right, and then let's go over here and let's get to NGC. And we're going to want to make sure that we do this. So I type in NGC verification. You're going to click on this NGC cert lookup, and then the cert lookup is going to pop up and you're going to enter your information. Now, what I like about NGC over PCGS when it comes to this particular item is that it makes you not only put in the cert number, but it makes you put in the grade. The reason that I like this is that it makes you like really understand what you're looking at. So in this particular case, let's enter in and then the grade on this one is going to be 66. And then go. All right. So now what I'm going to be looking at is I'm going to scroll down and I'm going to see this particular coin. Now I'm going to look at the back of this. I'm going to look at the label. Okay, so we see this here. It is the 50D, MS66, 5 full steps. Obviously the number's right. So I'm looking at my label. The label is correct. It's got the orange. The one thing I'm looking at as far as the barcode is I'm looking at this particular element right in here and right in here. There are very specific gaps. I want to make sure that those align. They do align. So I'm good on that front. Hey, what's going on, VRC? How you doing? Thanks for popping in. Well, what I want to show you is this. So when I look at the coin, I'm going to pull this full, and I flip this over and I look at the back. I want to look at this particular logo, because the logo will appear differently. And you notice as I adjust this, those colors are going to change. But what I want to do is I want to make sure that I can get that holograph to match the one that's here. So as I come here, I'm looking at this particular holograph here, and I want to make sure that this particular holograph will get this image. It will show different colors, but if it doesn't show the reds, sometimes the blues will show up more than the reds. Sometimes it'll be green. Sometimes it'll be a yellowish color. You want to make sure that you're matching this. And when you get, for instance, in this case, you have the O over here surrounding the globe, you want to make sure that NGC during that time frame, that the National Guarantee Corp actually turns yellow when this is red over here. So you want to make sure that your coin actually embodies the same holographic image that you're seeing when you're looking at the other. So if I pull mine up here and I get back over here and I look at this, I want to look at this. And when I get that kind of orangish logo, then you can see that the NGC actually turned yellow. Okay. So this is the correct angle of light. You do have that red NGC. If I put that here, it changes. But when I get to that red tint on that, it does turn that NGC color yellow, or it's kind of that orangish yellow, indicating that that is a good label and I am good to go on that front. So again, it's just one of these things that you want to go through, look at, see what you've got, and do some validation. I was looking through a bunch of different slabs. Again, I picked up a couple of these things, been paying on them for a little while, finally got them in, wanted to take some time, go through some of the old slabs. Again, I've got some others. What I'm trying to do here, you're going to see a pattern as I'm coming through here. So Sean was saying that he collects NGC. Well, if you notice all these numbers, they all have something in common. And that is that I'm trying to collect an entire nickel set and buffalo nickel set in MS66. So I continue to work on this collection. So I really want to make sure that when I buy one, that I'm buying it in the right grade, and I want to make sure that all the information is correct. So it's really important to do your due diligence. Now, sometimes you're not going to be able to get the grade that you want simply because the coin is too much money. One thing that I like about the Jefferson nickels as I continue to pull these up is that Jefferson nickels, you can actually get a really nice, good, high quality grade key date coin for not a ton of money. So I'm going to come back under here and I'm going to pull up this particular coin here. So this where did it go? This particular coin right here, 1950 MS66, this is a key date coin. And you could pick this coin up for 50, 60, 75 bucks if you can find a good deal. Now the full steps, the one that had the 5 full steps, that's a little bit different story. That's going to be, 150, 175 bucks. As you come over to the cert, one thing that NGC does not do is it does not tell you what the dollar value is, like PCGS. If you look at PCGS and you pull up the validations, you'll see that it actually lists a dollar value. That dollar value doesn't necessarily tell you what your coin is going to sell for. It just gives you a generalized price guide value based off of a number of different factors. eBay sales, the last one sold. But again, you've got to be careful with that because sometimes you can get an eBay sale that actually goes pretty high because somebody purchased a coin that they didn't know. They way overpaid for it. So don't necessarily go by this PCGS guide. Get something that is a little bit more attuned to what is actually going to be the case. So you're going to want to look at something like your gray book. Get with a dealer that is somebody that you can trust. Go through the coins, talk about these particular items, and find out not only what the dealer price is, but you're going to want to find out what the retail price is. If you're going to be doing it and you're going to be selling it, you want to make sure that you give somebody a fair price, but you don't want to give somebody such a good price that you lose money. So again, it's important that you really have good resources. I would also recommend that everybody has a red book. Now, I'm going to grab my red book. So I've got my red book. Okay. But what I want to say about the red book is it's important that even though you have a red book, it doesn't matter if it's 3 years old, if it's 5 years old. Mine happens to be from 2007. Now, obviously, I'm not going to be able to look at new coins with this particular one. But what I can do, and I'm putting these away so that I don't knock them over and make a total mess. But what I want to do is I want to make sure that I have information regarding mintages. because there's a lot of counterfeits that they call red book counterfeits. And I asked Jack Young, he mentioned this one day, and I was like, what in the hell is a red book counterfeit? What I don't understand that concept. I don't understand what that is. And he's like, basically, it's a counterfeit that you'd be able to identify just by looking at a red book. And again, sometimes they don't care about the details. What they care about is they care about fooling the person who doesn't take time to do the research, that doesn't take time to actually go through and kind of look at what they have. Now, just a little bit ago, I said I'd be careful about Whatnot. Whatnot isn't a bad platform, but people will use the speed of the auctions against you. And so if you're going to be doing something like purchasing on Whatnot, you really want to make sure that you're doing one thing, and that is make sure you know what you're buying ahead of time. Understand exactly what you're looking for, know who the people are that are selling, have a good understanding of what their general reputation is. And if they present themselves, or you hear of people complaining about them, just watch. Right? Just watch. You don't have to sign up for anything. You don't have to be clicking on anything. Just watch. See how they interact with people. See what the prices are going for. And then do something like pull up eBay sales, pull up PCGS, pull up a gray sheet, and look at those particular items and find out what the general prices are going for. Can you get a really good deal on a coin? So again, we talk about some of the different items and varieties, and I'm going to pull one out here. This is a coin that really kind of chaps my hide, and you'll see why I say that here in just a second. All right, this is a Freddy Cougaran. Now, what's the problem with this Cougaran? Well, problem with this Cougaran, you can already see it. It's milking, right? So this is an MS-70. Well, is it still an MS-70? It's all milky. Will it still grade at a 70? If I pull this out of the holder, is it there? Is anybody going to buy this as a 70? No. The problem with it is that when I bought this, it was a really clean, pure MS-70. So a lot of times you'll get people that have something like this happen and they don't want to lose money. They don't want to experience the loss. So they want to try to get somebody who really doesn't understand about the milking. And what they'll do is they'll turn the coin like this and say, look, you got this amazing Cougaran. And they'll move it around and say, look at this. This is an MS-70. Look at this. You see that label? See that label right there? 70. This is an amazing Cougaran. You're going to want to make sure you get that, right? And if you see people flashing like this, you can't really tell that that's milky, right? You see a cartwheel, it's looking really nice. It's looking really clean. You know, look at that cartwheel. Man, look at that reflective surface. See that? Holy smokes, man. That is just, look at that. Wow. Look at it, just reflect, right? And so you've got to be really careful because people will use light, position light in certain ways. Again, so you see the milk, now you don't. So you can position, this is one thing I really want you guys to be aware of. There are some unscrupulous people. I don't sell coins. Okay, I don't do auctions. I don't run games. I teach. I do stupid trivia. I tell dumb dad jokes. I like to have fun in the community, but I don't sell. I don't run auctions. And I don't do that for this very reason. Because you can manipulate. That is shining like my... Thank you. But yeah, it's really important. Hey, Mike Ranger, how you doing? It's really important when you're on places like Whatnot or TikTok or Facebook or whatnot, that you tell them if you're doing something very fast paced, tell them you want to look at, just like hold it still, right? If they're flashing it and they're doing this and they're moving it around and they're like, you need to get this and you need to, jump on this really quick. It's going to go fast. or they're like, hey, there's this coin, and then they move it across. Tell them you want to sit it there. Actually look at the light, right? And actually look at the items. Again, I'm not saying that people are going to deceive you, but there are unscrupulous people out there that just don't care, because there are things that they will put into the advertisement. There are things that they'll put in the description. All sales are final. And the one thing you really want to watch for is look for these auctions. And I've seen this on Whatnot 1,000 times, that the coin you're pointing at might not be, hey, what's up? How you doing, Tyam? Yeah, Cougaran. Unfortunately, this one's milking, and it makes me sad because I really like this one. I do have another one that that is really pretty. Unfortunately, this one all milked up. But why I keep this handy is I keep this handy so that I can show people why they need to be aware of what it is that they're buying, the tools and the tricks that people utilize that might deceive or fool you, and educate yourself on those. When I tell you to understand what you're looking at before you go into an auction, do your research. What is the low price that you should expect? What is the high price you should expect? Now, I've got friends that run auctions, and it's very common that you'll hear them say, if you're looking for a good deal, this is not the place to be. Well, that's honest. Okay. Does it mean that, oh, they're honest, so I'll buy from them? Well, it really depends. Are you willing to pay the extra money for what you're going to buy for? Sometimes I will do it, especially if it's something like a benefit auction. I don't have a problem spending, 75% more for an auction item that's going to be going to a good cause, whether it be the Wounded Warriors or St. Jude or cystic fibrosis. I don't have a problem doing that. However, I do have a problem with paying $85 for a coin that I would never be able to sell for more than 40. Right? So I want to make sure that I protect myself. So again, know what you're buying, know what you're looking at. But again, really understand things like your PCGS slabs. So if I was to lay this out here, and I'll put this in here, Mike Ranger, you're in here looking at this. Thank you for being here. I just bought my first 2 coins the other day. Outstanding. Congratulations. I appreciate you coming in and hanging out. Again, whatever information we can do, let us know. My email is in the description of my page. You can go there if you have any questions. You're more than welcome to send information. But again, it's important that you look at this. Now, with that being said, we also talked about the difference between slabs, right? Understand the variability between the slabs and the differences between the style. One thing that's really cool about PCGS and NGC, and I'm going to pull this up really quick, so give me just a second while I do this. Is NGC and PCGS, let me pull this up here, do this thing called the history. So they have the museum. This is the evolution of the NGC holder. Now, why is this important? Well, it's important because there are some things that you need to look for in each one of these slabs. Now, the first 3 slabs, I want you to look at very carefully. I want you to look at these. I'm going to step away for just a second, and I'm going to get these. I want you to look in particular at these 2 right here, okay? I want you to look at those 2, and I'm going to show you a slab in just a second. And I want you to tell me what the difference is in the slab that I'm about to show you and the slabs that are here. So look at this for just a sec. I'll be right back. step over the thing that's not there. Yeah. All right. I'm back. Thank you so much. So what I'm about to show you should look very similar. If you looked at those for any length of time, then you should see there's something missing here. And the thing that's missing is on this slab right here. Now this is a St. Gaudens wire rim 1907 high relief $20 gold coin. This is a 2020. This is a counterfeit. You can see the counterfeit on here. American Silver Eagle. But I want you to look at the slabs. Okay, so I'm going to go back and forth. I'm going to actually pull this other one up really quick. I don't want that, so let me move this out of the way. Okay, so now you see these two things. You can see that the slabs look very similar to the very old style ones that are located here. Okay, I'm going to pull this up a little bit. So you can see that there's kind of a similarity between it. Okay, now why am I showing you this? Well, I'm showing you this because you'll see something in these ones that you won't see in these ones. And the way to do that is to turn them on its side. This one in particular is at the top. And what you're looking for is, you see that little notch there? That little notch right here allows you to put your finger in there and open up this slab. So this is just a standard slab. It's not a PCGS. It's not an NGC. This is just a little clamshell style thing. You could put any coin in here. But if you look at it, it has the exact same spot, the exact same logo type as what you see in the NGC slabs above. But what you will never see in the NGC slabs are the little markers here and the little place to put your finger here. Okay, so if you can see that right, let's see if I can get right there. Okay, you'll never have this on an NGC slab, ever. So if you ever get one of these, and again, I want to show you this one because this is the exact same thing. This is a counterfeit. Now, this one, there's so many ways that it's wrong. NGC will never put a certificate of authenticity on one, ever. This is brass. It's clearly not gold. If you look at this at any length of time, you can tell that this is not a gold coin. The actual certification, the number is all wrong. And if I scan this barcode, it actually comes up with PCGS, not NGC. But again, you can stick your finger in there and pop that open, and that comes open. Okay, so you'll never find an NGC slab that allows you to open it. They are pressure sealed. They're actually sealed, and I might say this wrong, so bear with me if I say this incorrectly. I'll have to pull it up. They are ultrasonically sealed, okay, which means they are high vibration, high pressure, and they basically melt the metal, or the plastic, to one another. So you're going to have a seam that runs across, and it's going to be corrugated, much like you'll see here, right? But there's no place to put your finger. There's no little marks. There's nothing. There's no way for you to open the NGC slab. So if you see these little places right here, if you see these little marks where you can stick your finger in, or you see these little marks on the side where you can stick your finger in, or you can get in here and you can pry that open just by sliding your finger in there like this, get your fingernail inside there, then you're not looking at a real slab. It doesn't matter if the coin is real or not. It is not authentic, okay? The slab is not authentic, so you want to be very, very careful about that. What's going on, Kane? How you doing, bud? Now, I keep this one. Both of these are counterfeits. They're both marked. That one is marked with the C there. That one is clearly marked with the C here. And I keep both of these slabs available so people can look at these, because again, if you were to buy this particular coin, you're looking at thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. If you're looking at this one, you're maybe only looking at 30, 40, 50 bucks unless they slap an MS70 logo on there, and this happens to be something like in 1996 or in 1994. Now you're talking about 100, 125, maybe a $200 coin. So again, it's very important that you understand the differences. Now I'm going to pull up an article really quick. This article belongs to Jack Young. This article was found in Coin Week, Coin News. And I'm going to, it's kind of under Coin Week. Now, this is an article by Jack Young. I'm going to pull this up. I'm going to make this big. And this is something that he does. He actually walks you through some of the things to look for. He talks about understanding your mint marks. He talks about understanding, you can clearly see that this is not a normal mint mark, right? So make sure you have resources available to you. And then what he does is he walks through eBay listings and he gives you good examples of bad coins. So you can access this at any time. Google Coin Week Jack Young, and you'll find hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of articles. If you're on Facebook, pull up Fun with Fakes. That's listed up here at the top of this. Here he is, Jack Young's Fun with Fakes. And he does some amazing work protecting against counterfeiting. He'll talk about some of the things you need to look for with each slab. He'll talk about some of the things that you need to pay attention to. He'll look at things like your mint marks. And folks, if you're ever looking for a variety, an error, if you're ever looking for some identifying mark, the mint mark is always the best thing to look for. If you're talking about coins like the 1914D or the 1909 SVDB, maybe the 1922 No D, you're going to want to look at those mint marks. You're going to want to look at the positioning. You're going to want to look at how close they are to the numbers. You're going to want to look at how far outside they are from where they should be. Look at proper placement of those particular items and really become familiar with this, because I can tell you right now, looking at this 1893, this is definitely not the proper mint mark. And what he'll do is he'll actually break it down and he'll show you something. Another thing that's extremely important to do when you're looking at Jack Young's articles, pay especially close attention to the serial numbers. Why is that important? Because as he talked about the other day when he was in Paula's or LiveCoinQA stream, every one of the ones that he showed at the very onset of that presentation all had the exact same serial numbers. Okay. So if you're ever in a whatnot auction, or you're ever in an eBay auction, or you're ever online looking at wherever, Temu, it doesn't matter, and you see a bunch of peace dollars. Now I had this happen with peace dollars. I have this peace dollar here. This is actually an authentic one, not a big deal. But I seen somebody, they were selling a pair of peace dollars and they had the exact same certification. Now, at first I thought they were showing a picture, and then they picked it up and they moved them like this. And I was like, oh, wow. Those are fake. So I reached out to Whatnot and I said, hey, we got a problem. Notified Blue Ridge Silverhound, who knows the guy who runs Whatnot. And they reached out, and by the time that they had already done that, they had already pulled their stuff down and left, because it had been made known that they were dealing with counterfeits. So it's important to look at the markers that are there. It's important to look at the mint marks that are there and all the other items. He will tell you and show you exactly what's happening with it. He will tell you what to look for. the items that are there. He'll tell you what the slab markers are. He'll tell you what you see. Now, again, earlier in the stream, and I don't know if anybody's here that was here, one of the coins that I have doesn't have an image. And just because it doesn't have an image doesn't make it a fake coin. No. Doesn't make it a fake slab either. It just means that you need to get with somebody who really understands that coin and have them review it. It may not have an image simply because the person didn't pay for TrueView, or it was before they started really taking photos of them. So maybe the person didn't get photographs done. Maybe it's a coin, they have the authentic one, but somebody else has utilized that number. They know that there's potential fakes out there, so they've removed it. So you need to do your due diligence if you run into a situation like this where you have no image. But if you come across something where there is no image, you want to make sure that you're looking at the details. So, Mike, I've got a question for you. You say, hopefully you got legit coins. So are they in slabs or are they what they call raw, which means that they're just like this. Oop, I gotta share my screen. You're never gonna see that. Or are they just like this, where they're just in a they're just in a holder? How did you get your coin? And what coins did you buy? That'll be the tell too. And folks, I don't know if you're aware of this, but when dealing with things like counterfeits and fakes, they counterfeit everything. They counterfeit coins that don't even exist. There's a good friend of mine who is Chuck Daughtry. He runs Copper Coins. I work with one of his working partners, Eric Beyer. And Chuck Daughtry has purchased an entire run of counterfeit Lincoln Cents. Now, why would somebody want a set of counterfeit Lincoln Cents? Well, number one, they can utilize it to help train people. They can show people the counterfeit. They can walk through the potential items and say, hey, these are the things that you want to look for. And they can help people make decisions based off of the elements that are there. Because again, if I want to show you some of these coins, it's much easier if I actually have the items and I can pull them out and say, hey, that's what this looks like. Okay. That's the silver. This is the gold, or, this is some of the items. So if you have them, it's good to look at them. Now, if you have counterfeit coins, it's very, very, there's counterfeits. That's true. But you want to make sure, like the Henning nickel, somebody wants to fake a Henning nickel. But it's really important that if you do own one, you mark it accordingly. That's why when I showed you these two slabs that are here, both of these slabs are marked as counterfeit. They both have C's on them for copy so that people know that they're there. And also I keep this one here like this so people understand that there's no way. But if you order something like this from Temu, this is how it's going to come. It's going to come with a certificate. Because people want you to believe that you're getting something of value, and it's just junk. It's not worth the $2 in plastic that is sitting here. One was a 1982 S Washington 50-cent proof 68 Ultra Cameo. I'm assuming you meant 25-cent. Oh no, you're talking about the commemorative coin. Okay, got you. The commemorative Washington proof. If you have the number, you can throw the number in and we can pull it up. And we can see if you want to do that, that's fine with me. I don't mind doing it. If you also want to take a picture on your phone, email, you can grab my email, which is, I don't have my chat running. It tells me that I have to hide the chat. Why? There it is. If you want, you can send me an image of it here, and then we can pull it up and we can kind of talk about what's there, and then we can pull up one of the um, we can pull up the photo and look at the certification and make sure it's good. But again, folks, I don't mind helping you. If there's ever something that I'm absolutely uncertain of, I am going to 100% reach out and make sure that I'm connected with people who really genuinely understand. I will tell you what my belief is. But again, if I am uncertain, I'm going to tell you I'm uncertain. I'm never going to give you an answer until I'm 100%. We have a couple people in here who know me very well, and they will attest to that. What's important to me is to make sure that you guys have the right information, and you guys have good and accurate information. So let me pull this up real quick. And okay, I've got my email open, so you're more than welcome to do that. And if anybody's watching and you're liking the information that's being done, feel free to subscribe. Hit the notification bell. I've got a lot of coin videos that are out there. I've got a whole series on commemoratives. Mike, you'll probably like the commemorative series that I've got going on regarding the commemorative half dollars. There's some gold in there. There's some dollars in there. It's a really, really cool series. It'll probably be a year-long project. So come check that out. And again, folks, if you have questions, you have concerns, you're always welcome to reach out to me, and I can connect you to somebody that'll have the answer if I'm unable to get it to you, or if I can't tell you what it is. So, but if you want to do that, there you got that email. You can take a photo of it and send that to me, and then I can look at it. We can walk through that. But I wanted to take just a minute to make sure that you guys understand kind of what's there. What are the potentials? What are things that you need to protect yourself from? And I'm going to, yeah, Kane, I think it is. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to, I'm going to do a giveaway. There's only a few people in chat right now, so I want you to do me a favor. I want you just to be entering. If you're listening and you're lurking, put something in chat. I'm going to give a little sticker pack and a magnet pack away. If you want that, put something in chat. I'll pull something here in just a few moments, just as a thank you for you guys being here. Again, I like to give stuff periodically. I'll throw like a proof coin or something in there too, just to make it interesting. But make sure you're putting something into chat. If you're watching on your phone and you can't, let me see if I can pull the participants up from here. Maybe I can just do it through the participants. No, not on this program. Something. I knew you'd have to be the smart aleck, David. Oh, but yeah, I got. So this is the new magnet that we've got. So if you're not aware of something going on now, Victoria's on it. Thanks, Victoria. This is Stack Elector. This is Tiger Stacker and my new project that we're going to be doing. We're going to be issuing kind of a calendar of events. We're going to be talking about stacking, collecting, how to protect yourself. Not only in that, but stacking, prepping. We're going to talk about a ton of world history. We'll talk a lot of American history, but we'll also be including a lot of world history. We'll be talking about how it affects things like silver, gold. Got to have dinner. Have a good one. Take care, Kane. Hope you have a wonderful day. Thanks for coming in, bud. Appreciate you. But again, really cool thing. We'll be talking more about this. We put a lot of information out on the channel regarding stack collectors. But that is a trademark name, so that's pretty cool. I was really happy to be able to get that done. And then again, obviously the FrostByte coins, and then Tiger will have his own stuff. Tiger and I will be generating channel rounds, so we'll want to make sure and we get that done. So let's see, we've got 8, 9 people in chat. Let's go ahead and I'm just going to do it this way because this number pull thing isn't working. I was hoping it would, but it's not going to. So I'm going to take a number. I'm going to write it right in here. All right. So I'm going to put that right there so you can see that. And then I want you to enter a number 1 through 10. Only one time, please. Only one. Okay. And then the first person to get it. Yes, me wins. No, that's YouTube, me. So again, enter a number 1 through 10. Only enter one, please. And then when we find a winner, then we will go ahead and give the sticker pack away. I am going to have some more coming in pretty soon. Darren, 3's already in there by Victoria. Go ahead and enter another number. Yeah, so be paying attention to that. I've got another one coming out here pretty quickly regarding the Louisiana purchase. I think that just came out. The Panama Pacific is coming out next week. That's going to be a really, really cool video. You're going to want to check that out. So, Darren, go ahead and throw in another number. Hey, Volpon, how you doing? All right, we're going to give it just a second. Actually, you don't have to. Darren, you chose number wisely. It is number 4. Number 4. Just see that? Oh, okay. Let me do it this way. Oh. Number 4. All right, so Darren, I want you to do me a favor. I want you to send me an email. You got my number. Do that, and I'll put that on here. I'm actually just going to write your name on here, and I will get this sticker pack out later today. Mike, absolutely. That's what I'm here for. I love being able to help people. I like getting out here and sharing information and walking through some things. I'm not going to have all the answers. But what I do have is I have a good network of people who are extremely knowledgeable. So if you have any questions, have any concerns, check the videos out, see if there's anything on the items there. And if not, you guys got my email. Come in, check it out, say hi, see how things are going. Thanks, David. Exclamation point email. There's my email address. Send me an email. Let me know. It's like, hey, Frosty, I was in there. This is what we're looking at. So, yeah, just, pass the word around. I've got some really lofty goals this year about increasing the subscribers. We've got some big things planned for 2025. So I appreciate you coming on board for taking time to hang out with me as we kind of walk through some of these items. So I'm going to go ahead and start to wrap stuff up. I only wanted to be on here for about an hour. I have met that goal, so I'm going to bail. I appreciate y'all being here. Thank you for coming in and hanging out with me. And again, you know where I'll see you, right? I will see you guys in the streams. All right, folks. The coin I bought, I think I paid 18 bucks. If you're talking about the George Washington commemorative, you can get those between 15 and 30 bucks. If you bought it at 63, then you're probably 20, 25 bucks. If you got it for 18, you got a pretty good deal. So again, if you want to take pictures of it, send it to me. We can look at it. I can pull up the cert. Not a big deal. Darren, I won. Oh, I already gave you a sticker. Okay, well, Darren, do you want me to give it to somebody else? Do you want me to give it to Mike? If you want me to give it to Mike, I'll give it to Mike. Let me know, Darren. Yeah, I actually forgot you won. I had already sent all that stuff off. I wasn't even paying attention to it anymore. So let me know if you want that, Darren. Because if you want me to, I'll send that off uh, to the new one, to the new guy. So yeah, that's cool. But if you want it, let me know and I'll send it to you. Or I can send you a couple of proof coppers if you want me to do that. So let me know what you'd rather have. But I am going to Bill. Mike, make sure you send me an email. Let me know, even if you don't send me the coin. I want to send you something for the channel. Yeah, no problem. Just write me an email, Darren, and let me know just so that I can track it. I keep all my stuff there so I can validate it. But both you two send me an email, let me know what you got, and then I will get those out in the mail today. But I appreciate you guys. Thank you all for coming in. Victoria, it's always good to see you. Mike, thank you. Darren, thank you very much. David Carlisle, Kane, appreciate you all being here. Volpin, thank you for coming in. If you didn't subscribe, please consider doing so. And you know what, folks? I'll see you later. Be well, be blessed. Take care. We'll see you.